Testing. All right. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the 2025 Lake Holcomb Fall Concert. If you haven't met me before, which I know most of us probably haven't, I'm kind of a new face around here. My name is Mr. Casey, and I'm super excited to start the evening off tonight with the middle school band. Just before we begin, I want to say from the bottom of my heart and Ms. Sarkowski's heart, thank you so much for being here and supporting these wonderful young musicians. It would not be possible without your support, and everybody on stage here, it means the world to all of us. So thank you. One other quick bit of housekeeping before we start. Please make sure that your phones are either silenced or all the way off, just so we can avoid any awkward ringtone incidences during the performance. With all that out of the way though, our first piece is a sort of dark and dramatic piece about a swirling storm at sea. This is The Tempest by Robert W. Smith. All right, before we play our next tune, I just want to point out something unique about this band. There is a significant portion of people in this group that have just started learning their instruments this year. Now typically, with beginners, I would take some time to get them used to their instruments, sort of learn all their notes and fingerings, before we play any full-length pieces. But since a good portion of the students up here already have experience The beginners sort of had to get thrown in the deep end a little bit, and I've certainly been pushing them hard, but I've already been seeing a lot of very impressive growth from each and every one of them. So if you're a beginner, could you raise your hand, please? Let's have a round of applause for these new musicians. All right, with all that being said, we're going to wrap up the middle school band portion of tonight by playing a tune that we should all be familiar with. This is the classic American folk song, When the Saints Go Marching In. That first piece that you just heard was Waltz number 2, which is probably the most popular composition by the famous classical composer Dmitry Shostakovich. It's been arranged for band here by Michael Brown. The next piece that we're doing is also a little bit in the classical direction, but in a very different way. This one is much slower, more lyrical. We're sort of focusing on producing a really beautiful landscape through music. This is called Ammerland by Jacob de Haan.
With Halloween quickly approaching, I figured there was no better way to tie up our set of music than with something a little seasonally appropriate. So I did some digging and I found this arrangement of the Beetlejuice theme, the classic Halloween comedy movie. So we're ending it on a bit of a lighthearted, spooky note tonight. I hope you enjoy Beetlejuice.